What secret could ruin your life if it got out? To all the gay people in this thread, it really does get better. 17 years ago, I could have posted that the secret that could destroy my life was that I was a lesbian. I was 100% sure I'd kill myself if anyone ever found out. I was 100% sure that my parents would be completely destroyed and that my relationship with my parents would be ended. 17 years later, I'm out to everyone I know and getting married later this year. My life remains undestroyed. I failed out of college and didn't tell anyone. I lied about still being in school and pretended to go to classes. My parents still thought they were paying for my college. That is the worst part of this whole thing. I wasted 6 months and a good $5,000, if not more. Get it? Thanks everyone for your responses. It's good to know that I'm not the only one who has messed up. Smiley face. In response to a lot of questions, my parents found out about everything when my mom was trying to get my health insurance taken care of and the insurance said that I wasn't enrolled in school. This was 5 years ago. I have since paid my parents back for the money they spent, went to community college, transferred to a 4-year, and am now about to graduate with my BS. I can't stop myself from lying. Half the time I lie about things that don't matter and should have just told the truth for, but I can't stop myself from doing it. All the lies I've told, big and small, all catch up to at one point or another and are seriously damaging my life. My parents and brother don't trust me at all anymore because I've done some incredibly stupid things and lied about them. I've also had to do things or tell bigger lies to cover what started out as a little white lie. Other people around me that caught me in a lie don't know how to act around me anymore. I know I need to stop and I am trying, but the more I try to stop doing it, the more I do it. This is slowly destroying my life and my relationship with my family, and there is nothing I can about it. Compulsive lying is considered a psychological disorder. I know it would probably be hard, but you could try to get your parents to let you get help for it. Throw away for obvious reasons. I hit a smallish lottery, a few mil, a little while back and told absolutely no one, family and friends included. I took a bunch of steps to secure my kids' futures, and we live a very comfortable but not lavish life. I'm pretty generous with the people around me. I think that they just think I'm doing very well career-wise, or something illegal under the table. I justify it by thinking that if this was general knowledge amongst friends and family, it would ruin relationships. My priority needed to be my kids. I am emotionally numb. I always have to fake being happy or excited about things. I guess it kind of sucks because I'm not happy or unhappy, and the only time I'm considerate is when I'm doing something because I know something bad will happen and not because of guilt or a negative emotion of any kind. I sometimes wonder why I exist, but I don't delve too deeply because I just don't care. Wow. I didn't expect this comment to explode like this. I hope everyone understands that I can't possibly go through all of the replies because it would take hours. I'm glad that a lot of people understand how I feel though. Also, thanks for all of the support everyone. Smiley face. You might be suffering from depression. Depression doesn't always manifest itself as the sadness. When it hits me particularly badly, I usually end up not feeling any emotions at all. You might want to talk to a doctor about this. How I really feel about myself. It would lead to both people being driven away from me, and people sympathizing and empathizing for me. I would hate the people who stayed with me, probably yell at them, drive them away. Then I would be alone, and have nothing to live for. So, for now, I put on my facade and move on. I have a disability. The internet doesn't know that I'm disabled. I am a developer, followed by up to 500 people on Twitter, and nobody ever saw me or listened my voice. I don't want to reveal that because I'm scared it would destroy my reputation. I know, I'm too much negative and I should relax and simply come out. The problem is that, in real life, I am really disadvantaged by my disability. Sorry if my English is a bit wobbly, I'm not a native speaker. I'm sure no one would give a fuck if they knew. Look at the American film critic Roger Ebert. He was disabled and people still read his blog and reviews and so on. I have a cross-dressing fetish, but am completely straight. I have an incredibly supportive girlfriend who knows, but I don't think I could ever handle telling anyone else, and Lord only knows what would happen my small social life. As a very out transsexual woman, I just want to assure everyone here that these fears you have are far more damaging to you than dealing with the consequences of your dirty little secret getting out. Living authentically and honestly, being truly known by others, is an amazing experience. I believe in aliens. Like, to an insane degree. I used to attempt to summon them in an effort to be abducted. I've spent countless hours and night upon sleepless night looking up abduction videos and the like online. Every time I think about aliens I get this adrenaline rush and feel so alive with the thought of hyper-intelligent, spiritually advanced, telepathically inclined beings. I dream of being abducted, or to at least come into contact with extraterrestrials. I guess this wouldn't necessarily destroy my life, per se. But my family is extremely religious and anything of this nature is a big no-no to them. Plus if anyone realized how much time and energy I've invested into this I'm pretty sure they would think I'm a nut job and stop being friends with me. I'm asexual and married to a man who definitely isn't asexual. My husband knows, obviously, because we've been together for years and haven't had sex yet, but no one else knows. They don't know that we're in an open relationship and he has sex with other women because that's the one thing I can never give him. And no, I don't mind that he has sex with other people. It was my idea and we have strict rules about it that is always followed and we're very secure in our relationship. This secret wouldn't exactly destroy my life, but it would absolutely change the way everyone saw us. I was pooping when I started reading this thread on my phone. I got so invested in reading these that after 20 minutes of sitting on the toilet, my body took care of what it needed to. I pulled my pants up and proceeded to class. I just realized that I don't think I wiped. Edit, went back to the bathroom to check. Yep, definitely forgot to wipe. While I have the support of my most wonderful group of friends, and my immediate family accepts it, when I come out as trans woman publicly, I'm pretty sure that 99% of the rest of my family, who I love so much, will shun me. And that eats away at me every day the closer I get to coming out publicly with it. When I was in 8th grade I fell in love with my girlfriend. I never thought it would be possible for someone so young could have such strong feelings. The relationship didn't last more than 3 months because my mom and stepdad divorced and I had to move. I thought about her every day since I moved away. I met another person and have been married for 20 years now. I have 4 kids and have no complaints about my wife. 5 years ago through social media I was able to correspond with 8th grade girlfriend. It turns out that she still has feelings for me too. I have been faithful to my wife for our entire marriage, but want more than anything to be with my first love. You and she are entirely different people now. That girl you knew doesn't exist anymore, and neither does that you were. You're in love with a memory. You're also in love, I think, with a real woman who you're married to. I'm gay. My parents and family are all fairly conservative Christians who are generous enough to pay my tuition in Canada so it's not ridiculously high, and let me borrow money from them. Financially, I would need to drop out of school or take out expensive loans if they cut me off. If they find out I'm screwed. I can hear things very, very sharply. I really don't know how to describe it. Imagine being in the front of a line of around 50 to 60 people and being able to hear the whispering conversation, clearly, of the people at the end of the line. I have learned to manage it now by wearing earplugs, otherwise it can become very disorientating. Hello young man, I'm Charles Xavier, and I'm here to talk to you about my Institute for Gifted Youngsters. As a father of a gay child, I am so sorry this has happened to you and your cousin. You are not Satan's children. You and your cousin are both beautiful beings and you both deserve to be happy. Reading stories like these always breaks my heart. My family are completely opposite. We have a number of same-sex orientated members in our family and extended family. It's just normal for us. Even to the point where my teenage niece came out as a lesbian last year, yet we were all a bit disillusioned that we thought her younger sister would have turned out gay. Like honestly, no one gives a shit in my family. A good, male, friend of mine took MDMA for the first time at uni and told a friend of ours, out of all the people I haven't slept with, you're the one I masturbate to the most. It was the first of many stupidly honest things he'd say when high. Edit, for those asking, considering he said it to her in a noisy club with huge saucer eyes apropos of nothing, I'd say she took it pretty well, i.e., she said something like, what? And we all laughed hard about it later. No harm done. Obtaining wealth, one quickly realizes that happiness demands action. Health demands action. Unfortunately, wealth does not remove these requirements. Go to the gym. Pick up programming. You have time 99% of people could only dream of. You may never have to experience certain trials in your life. Make use of this opportunity and exert at least 70% of the energy that you would have in making a life for yourself into making a life for yourself. Regardless, those aren't good thoughts to have. I'm no therapist and I've never suffered from severe depression, so I'm just saying shit here, but I can imagine if you had a friend or close family member to talk to that would help. But you said you don't share them for fear of being institutionalized, so maybe if you have someone you can trust. I failed out of school, lied to my parents about it, kept the lie going for almost 2 years, but here I am, almost 10 years later, with a good job, a car, a house, a dog. You'll find your footing and things can get better. But if you haven't talked to your parents yet, you should. Good luck out there. I'm 25 and have so far dropped out of a community college (TAFE) course after 1 year, a graphic design degree after a year, and am now on my 2nd year of a commerce degree that I hate with a passion and have only passed 4 classes of. It's getting embarrassing and I hate that I don't have any passion in life. I think my debt is at $12,000 so far, pretty much all wasted. I know how you feel. For whatever reason, I'll just lie about some things that don't even matter. I told my girlfriend of 2 years, that I met in college, that I wrestled all throughout high school when we were over a year into the relationship. Only did it for 1. Told other college girls I went to a private high school for a year. I didn't. Lie to my mom about grades I'm getting. Lie to my roommates about where I go. Lie to my family about work stories. Lie to anyone about anything and I really don't know why. Probably not a mental illness if you know you're daydreaming and using your imagination. I have inattentive ADHD and I have a similar vivid imagination. I take meds similar to Adderall to curb the daydreams and keep me focused. One thing I don't like about my medication though, is that I can tell that it stunts my creativity. Uneasy face. There's nothing wrong with holding on to the cool things that children take for granted, including imagination and play. Some people would work really hard to achieve the complex and vivid world that you have made. By the way, if you want to take your dragon to the next level, you might want to check out our tulpas where you'll find people who create independent, self-aware, imaginary friends. I caught my mom cheating and didn't say anything. Long story, big mistake. He ended up finding out. That's the only time I've seen him cry. My mom and I aren't really on speaking terms anymore. Complicated is a word. You are not weak for wanting to talk about your pain. Sometimes I too have those thoughts. I don't know if they're just intrusive thoughts or because of the pain I have from my migraines. You can send me a PM if you want. I won't see you as weak, as sharing pain and emotions make you stronger. Vocalizing what bothers you instead of bottling it up inside you is strong. You'd be surprised how common this is. And sexual experimentation as a teenager is not an indication of sexual preference. He very well could be straight. Edit, today I learned that a lot of Redditors don't understand sexuality. Who am I kidding? I already knew that. You might be suffering from depression. Depression doesn't always manifest itself as the sadness. When it hits me particularly badly, I usually end up not feeling any emotions at all. You might want to talk to a doctor about this. Go to a tax attorney today. Today. The IRS has programs where people can go, file back taxes, and pay reduced penalties for taxes. It's very common. But do not, I repeat, do not call one of those skeezy to pay off your back taxes firms you see advertised on TV. Go to a legit tax attorney, come clean, bring W-2s and everything, then get it settled. You absolutely will pay lower taxes penalties if you voluntarily make amends than if the IRS audits you and finds what's up. Just get a tax attorney and start filing. I hadn't filed taxes in 7 years when my friend told me I could just call up and order forms from years past. I didn't fill them out myself. I even got refunds for some years, which is awesome. Smiley face. It's better for you to just start the process because whether you initiate it or they do, it'll happen eventually. It'll be way more stressful if they do. If you come forward, you'll at least be seen as someone who's come clean and isn't trying to cheat the system, and if you do end up owing money, you can set up a payment plan. Don't be afraid, just do it. Has to be done. Really. I really hate to be that guy, but here's a word of caution: take careful consideration into what problems, predicaments you currently have because they have the tendency to follow you wherever you go. Sad face. Some people would undoubtedly get shitty about it, since that's the internet in a nutshell. but plenty would be inspired and encouraged to know someone like them was doing so well. I don't think it's the sort of thing to come out about, since that would probably make it seem like a grab for attention, but treating it like a normal fact of life, which it certainly is, might be really great for a lot of people to see. Maybe by some sheer coincidence, they found something about your knee that wasn't right. Or there is a doctor somewhere in this thread now posting about how he once treated an obviously fake patient for the money or whatever. With all due respect, and I really do mean that, some people's situations might severely limit their ability to come out. If you are financially dependent or fear physical violence for coming out, you shouldn't do it, at least not without a plan. Maybe line up a job or an apartment or get in contact with various organizations to see what they advise. You will have a wonderful life once you leave that situation, but coming out is something you do for other people. You are still the authentic you, no matter what anyone else thinks. I can't wait till she's gone, but would give anything for her to stay. I never want to see her again. She'll be here in about an hour. I think you summed up destructive relationships perfectly with this. I think you should emphasize the almost here and give yourself some credit for not acting on your impulse. It happens to any of us, this sudden urge, but acting on it or not is what makes or breaks a relationship. My husband was medically discharged from the army. He gets a monthly stipend. I think you only get the severance pay if you rate below 10%, but it sounds to me like yours would likely be above that. He only had 2 years in. We also get to keep insurance, which has been great because my son was in and out of children's hospital during his first year of life. All we pay is a $12 co-pay. Please see a doctor. You and she are entirely different people now. That girl you knew doesn't exist anymore, and neither does that you were. You're in love with a memory. You're also in love, I think, with a real woman who you're married to. I would avoid a financial planner. This is terrible advice. If you don't know anything about investing and budgeting but have excess money laying around, you need a financial planner. You just need to explain to them exactly what you're looking for. A lot of people are afraid of them because it's possible to lose large sums of money if you invest poorly. Tell the planner exactly what you want to do. You want to keep your investments modest. You aren't looking for any big winners. You want to make just enough so your funds don't suddenly dry up. You don't want to live extravagantly, but you also don't want to live like you're paycheck to paycheck. Any reputable financial advisor will be able to help with this, no problem. I saw a dumb analogy on Facebook today, but I guess it works. Mental illness is like holding a glass of water. At first it's nothing, and you can walk around with it and hold it and be fine, but over time your arm starts to ache, and before you know it the weight of the glass of water is unbearable. Pretty stupid analogy TBH, but I guess it helps the simpletons understand mental illness on Facebook. I heard a different do better version of that analogy. Hold both your arms straight out to the side. Not that hard, is it? Don't put them down yet. Starting to ache yet? Bet you just want to put your arms down. Okay, you can put them down when it hurts. What if you couldn't put them down? It seems so easy to put them down, but you can't. You keep seeing people with their arms by their side. They keep telling you that if your arms hurt, why not just put them down? Wow, I got really carried away with that. Thanks, that's encouraging. As a 24-year-old who's planning on moving to Germany in summer to pursue an engineering degree, everyone is telling me it's going to be too hard. I can't tell if I'm being stubborn or cocky by ignoring them, but this makes me feel a little more confident in my aspirations. What's funny is that I live in the best area in this city. I have a cleaning lady, 4th floor of a beautiful condo. The condos have 24/7 security. It's a place that would cost thousands in the US. For $1 for $25 a month. I have a guy who comes to my house, cuts my hair, trims my beard or gives me a straight razor shave if I want for less than $5 US. For all of it. My salary pays for both my wife and Eslo's car, rent, all utilities, food, every bill we have, I pay it all. We just bank her check. So, though it would put us in a bit of a financial situation now, after about 8 months or so, we're going to have a good savings account. Honestly, do these one-word statements even have any impact on the severely depressed? I'm not even depressed, and it made me feel bad for how generic and loosely thrown around they are to essentially anonymous entities. Perhaps that's just me. Your comment makes me think I should really try that MDMA therapy for people with PTSD. I am very closed off and really unable to feel much other than anger. I'm female, but your comment about you and your guy friend just acknowledging your best friendship bond makes me feel like maybe there's hope for me, maybe I could really feel joy and love again. Thanks for the push, stranger. Just make sure you get that stuff tested. None of that my dealer said it was fire stuff shit. Edit, plug for all REMDMA and R darknet market snoops for those interested. I heard a different do better version of that analogy. Hold both your arms straight out to the side. Not that hard, is it? Don't put them down yet. Starting to ache yet? Bet you just want to put your arms down. Okay, you can put them down when it hurts. What if you couldn't put them down? It seems so easy to put them down, but you can't. You keep seeing people with their arms by their side. They keep telling you that if your arms hurt, why not just put them down? Wow, I got really carried away with that. It gets better, I promise. Sometimes I look back and severely regret everything, but I wouldn't be the person I am today, and I like to think I'm a much better person after everything I've been through. It takes time, which sucks lol. I knew a lady who did this for a while, got caught, and the penalties and interest was more than she could pay. It was literally going to be the IRS taking all garnishable wages for the rest of her life. Friends had to bail her out. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed. Love.